What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm back to more Pokemon VGC Regulation G team fixing. Today we're taking a look at a super cool team that features Kyogre, Pincurchin, Regieleki with a Choice Scarf, and Galarian Articuno. This is actually like a crazy team that goes, I think, a little bit too deep, but it's the perfect team for a team fixing, because I'm sure you guys can tell just by looking at this rental code right here, we're missing a lot of protects, where there's a lot of things we need to clean up. If we actually take a look at the submitted team right over here, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, like changing up a bunch of these natures, fixing a lot of these EVs. You see, we need to put a lot more points in bulk on a lot of these mons. So like I said, this is the perfect team for a team fixing. If there's a team that you guys want help with, think about checking out the Patreon. By the time this video goes up, there's going to be a brand new team submission post. Feel free to post on that. Even the lowest tier gets access to that post. All my rental codes, everything for the low price of $2 a month. So if you guys want some help with some teams, let me know on the Patreon. I'm just trying to finish up the last of these posts on last month's submission post before we actually get the new one up. I'm recording this on the 28th. So this is from KH2 Fanboy. They say, I've always loved rain teams. I wanted to build a a closed team sheet rain electro shot team with extra boost with electric terrain. So they're going really, really deep. This is like electric Terra, right? Electric Terra, stalwart specs electro shot Articuno. I'm like, wow, holy moly. This guy really likes that electric damage. Hopefully don't find any ground types, right? The ideal flow for this team is sending out Pelipper and Pincurchin to start the rain and get an electric terrain. And there's the terrain boost. That's like so nuts. For the first turn, get out Tail with Pelipper and either hit or protect or get a better read. The issue is we don't have protect on Pelipper. We don't protect on a lot of these mons. And I will say, like, I'm probably being a little bit too pessimistic here, but like anytime you're trying to feature like your non-restricteds, it's like your main play in a restricted format, especially on your lead, you're giving your opponent a little bit too much freedom to set their speed control and set everything, and they're not just going to let you do things with like Pelipper and Pincurchin when you're staring down like a Calyrex Shadow Rider or like a Miraidon or a Koraidon in the face. So I think this is a good idea. And I think that like Pelipper and Kyogre are cool, but what we need to do is like rein this team in just a little bit. We need to give ourselves some defensive options, actually give ourselves some protects, maybe give ourselves a wide guard so we can actually facilitate and add the tools that Pelipper would need to actually get up that tailwind. Things like the Damp Rock, things like the Terrain Extender aren't really doing us that many favors in this team because we don't really want to play like an 8-turn game, and we don't have the protects to actually get a game to last 8 turns. Like, you gotta realize, if you don't have protect on all these mons, like, yes, Pincurchin has it, but Kyogre doesn't, Arch doesn't, Regieleki doesn't, Galar, Articuno doesn't. Without protect, you actually have to do trades. Like, I hit something, they hit me. So you don't have that many AoE moves. So if you are having to hit them and they hit you back, you kind of just go for a 1-for-1, which means you're not even having a game last more than 5 turns to actually make use of these items. So we can optimize our items, optimize our defensive Terras, and definitely make a team that could work in VGC. I think this is probably like, actually, like, if you were to take this exact team and cut like the 1 protect user from it, maybe like add like, maybe this like make this like a sucker punch or something weird, you might be able to play this in Battle Stadium singles. Like, it looks like a Battle Stadium singles team, like all attacks and stuff like that. So hey, that could work. Like, we got Recover on a couple of these guys. Like, who knows? That could be kind of nice. Either way, I'm getting pretty ahead of myself here. What we're going to do here is we are going to play a couple games with the submitted team with all of the potential faults that we're seeing right here. And then after that, we're going to go into a team fixing. We're going to do my absolute best to polish this team up to make it the best that it could possibly be while still being like that really aggressive like electric core that we're trying to use here. Then we're going to play some new games with the team on Showdown, the new fixed version, and then we're going to give the team back in a poke pace. So if that sounds like fun, sit back, max, relax, act all cool, and other than that, hopefully we don't get absolutely bodied, but we're going to try our best to play the team as it was submitted so we can actually get a good understanding of, you know, what the creator said this team is supposed to do, and then from there, we'll see what we need to fix. Wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, Kyogre versus Groudon. The cool thing here is we actually have 2 weather setters, so we can actually lead Kyogre relatively safely. Our Kyogre is rocking like no points in speed, really. Only have 4 points right there. So we can actually lead with Kyogre and be fine. I think you probably want to lead like Kyogre and maybe like Regieleki. I really wish we had like a Volt Switch on this Regieleki so we could like Volt Switch in the Pelipper. That would be really, really cool. I guess since we know we're going to be swapping, right, we can just put the Pincurchin here, and it's always better to have that slowest pivot ever. So when you're using your Pincurchins, you want to try your best to make these guys like 0 speed reduced so they can actually underspeed everything so we can pivot in our weather last. So like, let's say they had something that was like speed reduced 0 speed like Rilla. or even like an Amoonguss or something, we'd be able to force them to pivot in their Groudon first. It would set the sun, then we would pivot in our Pelipper to pin. So that's what we have going on here. I don't really think that we have room for a lot of these other guys, though. Groudon's a bit of a rough matchup. I think we have to go Articuno over Arch, and that's sad. But I do think that... Then why are we using Pincurchin? You know what I mean? Like, that's another question here. What if I just led with Arch? That's actually fine. Lead with Arch. And then we'll go Articuno there. Cool. Arch should be slow enough to make this work. I want to see the Arch set that you have submitted. Yeah, it's not any speed at all. So this should be fine. And what we're trying to do is pivot in the Pelipper and actually just like pop things up with the Kyogre. So let's try and make this work. I don't really like... Wait, what? Does this Arch have Terra Blast Electric on like Electro Shot? Like it does. Okay. I don't think that's on the paste. Okay, this is going to be so hard. Like, Electro Shot, like, Terra Blast Electric? Does it really have Terra Blast? I know the paste is a little bit different from the actual, like, I know the Regieleki has Thunder Cage on the rental code, not on the paste. Oh, wait, Lead Pelipper! No, I messed up. But, like, actually, like, low-key, did I? Because why'd you lead Groudon? I was supposed to lead with Arch here. Arch Kyogre would have been really, really good. That would have been so good. We would have just won the game, like, right there. Hey, this is still fine. We can get our Tailwind up here. I just want to see if you actually have Terra Blast. No, it's Flash Cannon. It's Dark Pulse. Okay. Dark Pulse is better, but, like, again, I think there are better options. So we're going to have to pivot out this Pelipper or go for, like, some sort of... Let me think about what I want to do here. We have Ice Terra. That is a unique choice. I'm going to Water Spout and Ice Terra. I know that looks really weird. Wait, why do we have Aqua Ring? Aqua Ring's not even on the rental code at all, or on the Pokeface. Like, look at that. Like, oh my gosh. It looks like this team is like, okay, so what are we missing? We're missing Origin Pulse, one of our better moves. I would rather just use Origin Pulse. I'm gonna click the Water Spout. That's fine. I'm gonna click the Tailwind. I want to try and get this up. They're probably pivoting out their Groudon. We're gonna Tailwind and then pivot out our Pelipper and then bring it back in. If we can, you can't fake out both, right? That's the thing. And if you, no matter what's happening, either a Tailwind's going up or a Spout's going off. You don't want to eat either of these very well. So, like, this doesn't really matter to me. And the problem is, I don't think we even outspeed that Flutter. Yeah, we don't even outspeed that Flutter in Tailwind. That's ridiculous, dude. Holy moly. Here's our Ice Terror that we're doing, just so we don't die to Rillaboom, right? Man, this is just a game and a half, man. They don't make it easy out here. And then our Pelipper's going to actually be able to U-turn, I think, which is actually kind of nice. I do like the U-turn that you have on Pelipper here. Grassy Glide into Ogre, absolutely okay. So we should be able to, if we can just pop this Flutter Mane, that'd be really, really nice. Awesome, cool, that's great damage. Alright, so let's realistically think what we're going to do. I think I'm going to actually pivot out my Ogre and Weather Ball the Rillaboom. I think that's actually a fine looking play, because our Pelipper is like low-key thick. 252 defense and Spadef. Oh my gosh, there's so much that needs to be fixed here. Like the Pelipper EVs, bro, the no special attack, oh my gosh, I have my work cut out for me today, don't I? All right, so we're gonna pivot in our Arch, and we are going to go for, see, a Hurricane would be blind, but it would probably get the KO. I want a Weather Ball because I know they're gonna pivot in Groudon. You know, I'll Hurricane the Rillaboom. It'll be blind, I don't really care. I could U-turn here, I don't really need to. Pelipper's already done its job. And we have that Ice Terra whenever we need it. Like, that Grassy Glide would have popped us in the mouth. So we're going to pivot in our Arch. This is a 4th resist on the Grassy Glide. I wish we had Stamina. I wish we were just a Body Press Arch. Like, honestly, I think that'd be a little bit better. Thunder Wave into Kyogre slot. Wow. So you've seen those Flutter Manes pop up now and again. It's kind of nice. I like it. Let's see how we're going to handle this here. Hurricane, big damage. Oof. Alright, so 2-shot there. Are you U-turning me? Oh, we get confused. Cool. I want to see if they're U-turning, because they didn't go Grassy Glide there. And then what are we going to do with this Arch? U-turn. Cool. So they're going to be able to bring in Groudon. But, like, I can repivot. I don't really think it's the end of the world. I might even just pivot out Arch for Articuno. That's why I brought it, to be a good defensive pivot here. I could just let one of these mons die and then repin really, really hard with Kyogre. That's kind of where I'm looking at this. Especially if I do a good job of getting the Flutter off the board. So Flutter's going to restore some health. How well does, like, Arch really care? We're full defense. What a weird set. Alright, we can pivot in. I'm going to U-turn into your Groudon. Which means I'm going to have to bring in the Articuno most likely, but like that should be fine. I don't think we can really pop the Flutter Mane slot with a Weather Ball, even though it's like fire now. I don't think we could do it, and I don't think they're pivoting the Flutter either. But let's just see what happens here. I think we're okay. We're doing our absolute best with what we have here, which is harder to use than others. I shouldn't be so negative. Like, this team, it just needs a lot of work, and so we're showing that right now. So the Thunder Waves here, this is why I click U-turn, because we're going to get a slower play here, which means we're going to get a free pivot into something, and if we actually can take out the Flutter still, P-Blades shouldn't KO our Arch, but, like, I don't know their item. If they're, like, orbed or something, we're dead, obviously. Yeah, so as long as we're not paralyzed, never lucky, so that's just going to lose us the game right there. Straight up, that should just lose us the game, because now we can't break the like, Flutter. Oh, that's really frustrating. That's really, really frustrating. You can Thunder Wave me, but like, do you know? Like, I don't outspeed your Flutter, right? But now you can see it. Yeah. That's so frustrating. How do you not outspeed a booster Flutter with in a Tailwind? I have a Tailwind up. All right. And I can't protect. I have Articuno. We haven't seen their last one either. I'm assuming it's like Ursher and Sin or something. This is a weird looking play, but I think it's right. I'm going to try and get a little bit of value going here. I'm hoping that they miss Thunder Wave. They're probably just going to protect. Honestly, there's nothing really wrong with that. Let's see how they want to handle that. That really sucks that we got paralyzed there. We would have just... I think we would have won the game, because we would have had speed control and leverage for the rest of the matchup. Articuno's great into things like Rillaboom. Even in Sin, like, we're not that bad. That's great. Cool. This is a lot of damage. I don't care if you want to protect your Rillaboom. Or, sorry, protect your Groudon and, like, do something here. This is a lot of damage. You have to be protecting here, right? And then you're going to have, like, a fake-out pin, but then I'm just going to pivot into my Arch. And your Rillaboom might even just take the L here, which would be great for me. I would love that. Big spout. So the fact that we're not giving them either of our weather setters is really good. Oh, almost got the KO there. Almost. So let's realistically think about what we want to do here. We have Life Orb, Articuno, with Tailwind, Psychic, Hurricane, Recover. I think I'm going to re-Tailwind. Articuno should outspeed Groudon, but yeah, it should. Unless it's a Jolly Groudon. But you're going to fake out something. I'm going to Tailwind. If I lose this Kyogre, I probably do lose the game. So, like, what if I just, like, pivoted out Kyogre for Arch and just got another Tailwind up? I think that's fine. And then we pin the Groudon pretty well. And this is also the fact that we already have the Articuno on the board means if they wanted to pivot in Sin or something, they are getting a little bit pinned. Like, I think Hurricane off a competitive proc with a Life Orb would KO the Sin unless it's, like, vested. And I think the vest is on the Rillaboom. So let's see what they want to do here. They can fake out the Articuno and ignore the Ogre. That's a really, really deep read, and I don't even think it really loses us the game. Yeah, they're just pivoting. They're just trying to keep up the weather control. This is Flutter. Cool. We outspeed that. We actually should be able to win here, I think. Because now Articuno just bullies that board, and we can just pivot in the Pelipper whenever we feel like it. Take out. Cool. Definitely works for me. I could have left Kyogre on the board, didn't really need to. Fresh Coat of Paint on that Tailwind. I think I'm just going to Psychic the Flutter. I don't need to go for Hurricane, because I don't want to pivot in my Rilla. Sorry, I don't want to pivot in my, what is it? My Pelipper yet. So I'm going to Psychic here. I think that should get the KO. And I'm trying to think. I guess I can just Dragon Pulse the Rillaboom. Like, it should just KO. I hope Psychic gets the KO on the Flutter Mane. I'm wondering if they're going to pivot out the Rilla to set the Sun to make it so we can't, like, Electro Shot. That's kind of where I'm looking with this. Maybe I should have double attacked into the Flutter. I don't want to get Protect baited. I think Psychic plus the Orb should get it. We're not modest. Like, our nature is all over the place. We have, like, a plus Spadef boost nature with, like, no investment. So, like, if we were modest, I think we definitely get the KO. Like, Psychic's not bad, though. Articuno has a 125 base special attack. That Flutter seems pretty bulky. But at the same time, like, I think we're fine. Big damage. Please don't let me get Thunder Waved. Oh my gosh! There's so many little things wrong. All right, that's super okay. I don't really care if they have like knockoff or something here. I didn't want to get Thunder Waved. I think that was the big thing. I really didn't want to get Thunder Waved. U-turn, cool. That really works. Super works. So you bring in Groudon, I bring in Kyogre, and we win the game. Oh, it's so frustrating. No, you know what I mean? It's so frustrating. Like you can already see the little things that we're talking about optimizing. There's so many things we can do to fix this team. So like we're gonna get something cool going. I think we're gonna be able to get something good here. Ursh. So it is Ursh in the back. Is it Urshy Dark? Is Urshy Dark? Ugh, that's spicy dicey. I don't really care for that. We're gonna bring the Kyogre. And I think I'm going to... If I were to spout, I don't know if we pop the Ursh. It looks like it's sashed. I think I'm going to try the Hurricane into it, and I think I'm going to try the spout. And we just save the Pelipper pivot for next turn. You can protect. You can do so many different things here. You can pivot in. You know that I have a pivot in too. So like there's so many little things. I could have sent out Pelipper, I guess. But like I don't really like that because I think that like Sucker Punch probably does KO my Articuno. They just don't know that we're sashed yet because we haven't really... Actually, they do know that we're not sashed. They can just Sucker Punch your Articuno. But like the way I'm looking at this is if you have to send in Rillaboom here, it's still raining. So it's like big fat damage is coming this turn. Detect. That's fine. So we just get your Rillaboom for free. Awesome. And then what? You go into Groudon, and I just go into Pelipper, and just put the click the U-turn, and then we're fine. It's not looking great, but like I feel okay. You know, we're gonna get the Rillaboom off the board. We're just taking away their pivot pieces, right? Yeah. I'm really worried about the sash on that Ursh though. I low key want to click like Aqua Ring, like low key. I can't believe we waited all 5 turns of the rain, yo. Should have used my Damp Rock. Let's see. Groudon comes in, we just pivot Pelipper. Yeah, awesome. And like what? Are they going to close combat or something? Like I can't stop that. Let me actually think about that. That's fine. Just want to check. Last turn Tailwind, Groudon can protect. You're going to get your Sash clocked. And then we might lose to the Ursh if it's sashed. So it really depends on where they're going. If they're close combating the Ogre, and like I pivoted in Pelipper in that slot and they close combated it, I think I would just win the game. If they're sucker punching the Articuno and you know I'm pivoting in there, if their Ursh doesn't get a KO this turn, I win the game. If I had Protect Ogre, I think I'd be playing this a little bit differently. Not necessarily this turn because there's an Ursh on the board, but you know what else should we be doing here? You know. I wish we had a better defensive Terra too. I really wish we were Grass Terra on this Kyogre. I think that'd solve a lot of our problems. We don't really need to ever double dip Ice. So let's see where they go. Are they throwing Sucker? They're protecting Groudon, obviously. Are they throwing Sucker or Close Combat? That's the whole thing this game's going to come down to. It looks like they're throwing Close Combat, which means we lose. GG's. Shake my hand. I lose. Yep, Sash Ursh. Close Combat. Okay. Wicked Blow. Oh, same thing. Yeah. I mean, Close Combat's technically would have been worse because we would have died, but hey, you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. I still think we have a great board state here. Because we should be able to live the Sucker. Problem is we don't outspeed anything anymore. I think if you throw both attacks, I think if you throw the Weather Ball, let me just check this real quick. No more Tailwind. Alright, so we need to get our Tailwind back up. Tailwind Water Spout's just a play. Thank you for PP maxing all your moves, by the way. I really appreciate it, especially like the 5 PP ones. Cool, this is fine. Sucker Punch shouldn't OHKO, and the Flutter and the Ursh are so low that we should just be able to win. Especially that Flutter. Close combat. He's faster than me, I forgot! Wait, I completely forgot he was faster than me. I forgot. Sorry! Oh my gosh, this team makes no sense! Alright, well, we lost. If I would have U-turned there, maybe I would have won? With the Pelipper? Yeah. Oh well, that's completely my fault. Let's see if we can get some win, though, because, like, Pelipper's not bad. But it's going to be really hard to win with Articuno because we don't have like Protect or anything. So what I need to do is come in here, click Recover on the Sucker, pin the Ursh. I mean, we have Paralyzed Pelipper too. Like we are super done. Like we super lose. That's all I got. You have to blow a Sucker. I think they should just Protect and Thunder Wave. Honestly, I think that's a really good play for them. Yeah, so like there's so many little things this team needs help with, but I don't think like there's that much we can do. Our opponent played really well, I think. Okay. That's why we're Weather Balling here instead of Hurricane. If they give us this Ursh like for free, like if they just throw like a YOLO Sucker, like they can just Wicked Blow. I can't actually stop them from Wicked Blowing because like we can't. Detect, good play. I get a free recover out of it. Articuno does outspeed Ursh. But at the same time, like, how do I actually win this game? I'm, like, looking at it. Pelipper couldn't move his Paralyzed. Hey, you didn't even know what we got to see. Okay. What do we actually need to do to win this game? Pelipper does not outspeed that Ursh. So if you're going to hit me no matter what, which means we have to... We're going to stick a Weather Ball into a... Like, I think the right play is double into the Ursh. And we have to double blind Hurricane, like not double blind, but like double Hurricane, like Hurricane just in general. This is such an L. Good thing is Groudon doesn't have that good a matchup here. Like if Groudon protects, like and I just get like free turns, like it's cool. But like you can just sucker punch me and I lose, right? So like we don't have the defensive tools to actually play around a lot of this stuff. Urshi Dark ended up being a really big problem for us. Here's a Terra. Is it Fire Terra? Groudon? Better late than never, right? He's just gonna E-crash the Art and Articuno me lose. Ugh! Oh, it's one of these days, man. This is a hard fix. But, like, you guys see what I mean? It's, like, not really even possible to get these wins, I don't think. We hit a blind Hurricane in the sun. I can't ask for a single thing more than that. Weather Ball's not doing anything into the Groudon. If we even get a chance to do it, they're gonna Heat-crash our Articuno. We're gonna lose. We just don't have the tools, right? To get a lot of stuff done. Yeah, Articuno is going to be popped. Yeah. Let's see. What could we do differently? Like, if we start taking a look at the team here. So, like, no defensive tools. Our nature's in the wrong spot. And you can kind of see also as well, like, if ever you're building your own teams and there's, like, a pro tip down here, it tells you a better way to use your EVs to, like, save EVs. Because right now what you're doing is you're putting your nature, which is a 10% boost into one of your stats, into like a stat you're not really investing in that's also lower than like a higher stat base than you already have. So I think like optimizing Articuno could be good. I think Articuno and Kyogre could actually work together, but you really need to lock in on the set. And then let me think. Oh, actually, I ran. I shouldn't have ran. Like they only had 10 seconds left on their timer. I could have won that one. Yeah, I'm thinking like what else we could really do on this team. Pelipper needs defensive tools. Like, we need Wide Guard. We need Protect. We need Protect. Like, you don't need this Damp Rock. You don't need the Train Extender. You don't need, like... Well, you gotta give the right pace, too. You gotta have, like, this is Dark Pulse, which is still wrong. This is on the rental. It's Thunder Cage. So it's rough. We're in a rough situation. You gotta have Protect here. You can't miss your Origins either. I think like Origin is like a really important move here. We have Aqua Ring over Origin Pulse. Gotta have Origin Pulse. I think the Ice Tear is also not doing us anything. Anything you want to Ice Beam, you can Ice Beam if you want, but like you should probably have a more defensive Ogre, or you at least need to have like enough points and speed to do something with the Ogre if the Tailwind goes up. Because right now we're just in no man's land. We're not even outspeeding base 100s at like a +1, -1 calc. We're not outspeeding booster Flutters if we have Tailwind. So it's dicey. It's hard. But we're going to go another game and see if we can get some wins. And then the team fixing should be a big help. So let's go play another game. Miraidon. Ooh, Entei is really cool with Miraidon. All right, so we have to be ready for like Trick Room and Tailwind stuff with Miraidon. It's kind of like the Tail Room Mon of the format. Our Kyogre's not in a good spot here. I think Arch is usable as a lead. But it really depends on what they want to do. We have no Wide Guard, no real forms of getting our speed control up safely. Kyogre can't Protect. Like, oh, this is just so hard. Our Lecky doesn't even have E-Web. Like, it's so hard. They have, like, no tools. Like, all the tools, but none of the tools at the same time. I can't bring Lecky. Like, this whole team just, like, is just... We got no Sash. Like, oh, it's just so hard. I'm going to bring Articuno to make it look like we're in Prison Trick Room. And we got to bring something to fodder, basically. So we're going to bring Arch. And then we're going to try and close with Ogre. But Ogre doesn't even really outspeed anything, so it's going to be really hard. Chill out. Try and make this work. If we can force a Miraidon Terra early, maybe we can... Like, if we can force a Fairy Terra, maybe Lecky can come in and lock in, like, a Thunderbolt. Do we even have Thunderbolt? I know the Poke Paste has Thunder Cage. Oh, man, this is just... It's not my... It's not my day out here. Let's see what happens, though. I'm just looking forward to the fixing. I think the fixing is going to show so many little things that we can do to fix this team. Again, we're trying to condition the Miraidon into blowing its Terra early. They have Fake Out up. We have nothing to do against. We have no way. We have no Ghost Terras. We have absolutely nothing we could possibly do to stop Fake Out. We have no Protect. We have no ground types to pivot in. Like, oh my gosh. Like, we are so freaking cooked. Do I need to make a read and, like, Flash Cannon the Miraidon? I'm just going to go into Lecky and try and block that damage. And I'm going to Dragon Pulse into this slot. It's the best that we have. I'm not going to blow my Terra on my Miraidon, or on my Arch. If you would like to Fake Out the Arch, go ahead. You shouldn't be Fake Out in an Arch, by the way, because, like, stamina boosts. You Fake Out in that slot. Yep. Oh my god, it did like half, bro. There's a Draco. I don't know if I die. Oh my gosh, I did. Alright, so the good news about this is we can just bring in Kyogre here. It's not bad. Kyogre's fine. And we should be able to get a lot of value out of this. I think I might bring in the Articuno, though, and just try and get up a Tailwind. I think that's my best play. And if they have Whims in the back, I think we just lose. Really wish we had something like, I don't know, Volt Switch. We do have Volt Switch. Alright, so again, it's like, it's not on the rental. I would have went with it. Like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Every single Pokemon's paste is wrong from the rental. Okay, yeah, we have Electric Terrain on Scarf? It's not even on there. It's like the completely different moveset. Dude, it's like the only move that's on here is Thunder. Okay, okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Can you tell that I'm tilted? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we knew that was pivoting. So we're going to be able to bring in the Ogre, get up a Tailwind, and let's see what we can get done here. Oh, they do have Tailwind staggered. That's just GG, I think. I don't know how we actually get out of this. Like, I really don't. It ain't easy being your boy. We're going to lose Articuno this turn, too, but at least we're going to get a Tailwind up. I'm like, what do I do, you know? They stagger. Next turn, they Tailwind back. DP. Oh god, we're so dead. There's no way that we could possibly win here. It just does not exist. The only way is if this person, like, massively messes up. I'm talking, like, big mess up. That big mess up, like, I'm gonna try and freeze your Iron Hands. And we're gonna Hurricane there. Light Screen. You didn't Tailwind. So that's one way that you can mess up. If I freeze your Iron Hands, I'm gaming, right? I'm trying to freeze the Iron Hands. You should have definitely Tailwinded, I think. Okay. Freeze. Come on. Big freeze. I'm talking the big freeze. What other outs you want me to play to? Low kick? Yeah, I mean, just lost our Ogre for free. So, like, it gives me such bad PTSD, because, like, the Articuno's not even the right nature as it was on the freaking Pokepaste. Oh my god, every single one of the Mons is wrong from the Pokepaste. I would have been playing the first matchup completely differently. It says it's calm here, but it's modest. Lecky's modest. It's supposed to be modest, but its moveset's all wrong. What is it, Arch? Arch is modest, full HP special attack. It's not HP, it's... this is the Arch set! It's defense HP. I would have played that differently. I would have Terra'd first turn if I knew that we had, like, an actual Eevee spread. Oh my gosh. Is any of our Mons anything? Kyogre's full HP special attack. Was Kyogre full HP special attack? It was, okay. Oh my gosh, like... I just don't know what I'm supposed to do about this. I try not to be so negative, but, like, there's just... How am I supposed to fix stuff when, like, I'm not even given, like, the tools to fix it? Yeah, we lose, but we're gaming. You can just sucker punch me out, we die. Yeah, let's see. We're thundering the Ursh in case it's Sash, but yeah, so we're gonna be able to fix a lot. I guess I would just say, like, future reference, like anyone that wants to submit teams in the future, like if you could try your best to make the paste right. I can't win the games in the test games and can't use the teams the way you submit it when like all the moves are wrong and the pastes are wrong. It's like impossible. Speaking of impossible, if we crit this Iron Hands, he might die. Wait, did I use Thunder Cage? I thought I used Thunder. That's just GG. Like, there's Thunder Cage actually isn't bad in case they're Sash, but there's like no way that we could possibly win. Thunder Cage, a move that's not even on the Poke Race, by the way. Oh, we did crit. We didn't even crit. Oh, that's just KOs. Ugh, that's nutty. I guess we're still gaming, but like, what do we do here? I wish we actually walked in Thunder. That'd be kind of nice. We would have had shots here. But I'm so tilted, right? You know, like, what do I even do? If I crit your Miraidon, you die. Yeah, Thunder Cage is the top. Yeah, we can't swap because we're scarfed, right? So, Choice Scarf only has the use of Thunder Cage. So that's Sash Ursa. Like, this actually isn't even wrong. We need to either get a confusion in the Miraidon and have it hit itself, or crit it. And this is a much higher percent chance, but I'm gonna Psychic it because I want to get that crit. I want to win right now. I want to win right now. He's going Terra. I don't care. Let's see it. The Ursh Terra. Okay. Water. You know it's a Regieleki. You gonna Aqua Jet Oko my Lucky? I wouldn't even be mad. Put me out of my misery so we get into this team fixing. Aqua Jet. There it is. Who are you going for? Rain boosted into my Lucky. Big. Oh, and you crit me, dude. That's like critting like a Surging Strike with the Aqua Jet. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sad. All right, if I crit here, I think I could have won. But we'll see. Because remember, there's still a Light Screen up. You need to crit like Psychic, Terra, Life Orb. Nah, I don't even. The crit would have got it because it would have done 1.5 more here. But I'm so excited to get into this team fixing part because there's just so much work that needs to get done with this team. It really is, and I can't take it anymore. I gotta fix it, bro. Okay, so we're gonna lose this one. This one's GG's, and let's go into the team fixing because it definitely needs it, guys. Pour one out for your boy. That was a slog having to deal with this. So again, I'm just gonna completely like gut a lot of these moves and these mons, and try my best to make something viable. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When you're trying to feature non-restricteds in a restricted format and saying like, oh yeah, I'd like to use like Pincurchin to enable like all these electric attacks, and you're not playing to the strengths of your restricteds, you're at the mercy of what your opponent's doing. They can lead with their Miraidon, they can lead with their Shadow Rider, their Ice Rider, all the different things, and you just have to hold the fattest L because you're trying to use Pincurchin. I kind of liked what you were doing with the rental, where you had like electric terrain to be able to manually set it that way, but like, we don't really need to be doing those things. It's not like a good combo. I think that like this mon could be cut for sure. Pincurchin's just not like very viable. I think if you wanted to keep the Lecky, you could definitely make Lecky work, and you can definitely make Pelipper work. And I think if you were to somehow, actually I don't really like Pelipper. What I would do here is cut those. I'd cut it for those, and then I would add something like Torn. And what is that? I would add Torn Ursh probably. I'd add something like this, but then I'd want to add one mon. I'd want to cut the Articuno at that point because you're doing most of what Articuno does with Torn at that point for something like Indeedee. Something like this. This way you have actually protection against those Grassy Glides, right? Protection against those Thunderclaps. Because like we didn't even fight a Raging Bolt, but like imagine if we did, they just would have Thunderclapped all the way home against all of our mons. So I would be cutting those defensive tools for stuff like this. This way you still have like the Rain Dance Tailwind setters. Now you have some redirection, you have protection. Now you have like additional layers of speed control that are dynamic speed control that don't have to ask for permission to get set up. And you have the ways to actually deal with Trick Room. You can Trick Room a Trick Room back. You can protect with your Ogre, flip it back. There's so many better options here. So that being said, don't need to be choice scarfed here. I think Sash is still a really, really good spread on Regieleki. And as for Terra, it's really weird. Like, I think if you're going to be using Regieleki, you need to have Protect, right? I think that's going to be really, really important. So we want to have Protect. We know that we want Electro Web. That's like the thing this guy does, is provide additional speed control. You could have Thunder if you want to be able to be paired with Ogre, and then I would just go Volt Switch. This is what I would be doing here, so where you can actually just like see what's going on and pivot in the right things correctly. You don't even need Volt Switch. Realistically, you could go with so many different things. You could just put Thunderbolt there. And there's nothing really wrong with that. You can do kind of like what Flutter was doing in the first game and have Thunder Wave instead of the Electro Web. That's not bad. I think you might actually just go Thunderbolt. So you can actually use this thing without having Kyogre on the board. And then if you're going to be using like a Lecky, like honestly, you still outspeed everything with Modest. So like that set actually still works. What I would do here is Ghost just to do it. So you don't have to have Entity on the board. And just have like a standard Regieleki set that can provide speed control, weaving those protects while still pinning and trading things in the late game. Articuno, like you can't get away with Arch being played this way in this format. I think you definitely need to make this guy an AV. I would make it Stamina, that way you can actually use it as a pivot in between all the things. Like if you're weak against, like, I don't know, grass attacks, pivot in this guy. Weak against electric attacks, pivot in this guy. There's so many different things you can pivot in this thing to block. I'd probably be making this into a... I like Grass Terra on this guy, but I think also making him a Terra that just like stops Kali I could be like really good. So you have like a much better Kali I matchup. So that would look something like Fire, or, you know, you might want to go something like Water. I think that Water might be a better one. I would probably just go Water here. But then at the same time, like, you have weaknesses to like Bolt and stuff like that. So it's hard to say. I like Water when I play Arch, honestly. And then the way that I like to build these guys is Snarl. So these are like a mon that you can go into a little bit of a TR matchup. You go Body Press here. And then from there, you can still have the Electro Shot. And then you can go Dragon Pulse or Draco, and I would go Draco on this set because, like, in Reg H, you would have wanted the Dragon Pulse, in my opinion, but, like, I really like the Draco on this one. That way you can still, like, break the Arcaludons. And the way we want to be building these guys is you want to have the max HP, and we don't really need, like, that much special attack at all. We still want to put our Nature in a special attack because it's one of our higher stats, but I think something like... Actually, we don't even need it. We only need, like... I think it was 68 points to be able to actually break something with Draco, especially after, like, a +1, and then you can just go, like... you can basically go with 2 points here to get to 107 to outspeed Pulse in Tailwind, and then you can just throw like the rest of these points right here. Just make sure that it's the right number. Yep. So we're still, see how we're using all of our EVs correctly. So we're not wasting the EVs and we're putting points in all of our stats. This is going to let us still be a bully with like Electro Shot and Draco and the Snarls, but at the same time, like we actually do damage with the body presses after we get stacks, and now we actually can soak damage correctly. So I like this set a lot. Kyogre. Leftovers is fine. I actually think you'd be better off on this Kyogre, just completely doubling down. I've recommended this Kyogre set before. I like to go Ground Terra on my Ogres. That way you can just like weave this into Miraidon and just not care. It's good into Hands, it's good into Miraidon, it's good into Bolt. Yes, it's worse versus Rilla, but that's what the Entity's for, and you can protect and pivot in these things. You gotta have Protect on these guys. But we're Mystic Watering, so we have Water Spout, we have Origin Pulse, and I just like the Hydro. This is a really good set in a Zamazenta as well. You just triple water attacks, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then the way I like to play these Ogres is very simple. Like, I want my Ogre to be Speedy Gonzalez out here going big fast. You can cut a lot of these points off and put them in, like, bulk. Realistically, you need to get to 112. That's the lowest number you need to get to, is, like, 112. And you could do that by putting, like, 12 points right there. So that was the difference between your set. You had 4, you needed 12 to actually still be able to outspeed Shadow Rider and Tailwind. I just like the full speed sets on my Ogres, and I just like to go ham with that big damage. Tornadus is going to be a little bit different. I've recommended this set before, but I'm going to recommend it again. I really like the Rocky Helmet sets here because, again, our team is really, really weak to a lot of offensive options. We want the Protect. The Protect will elongate the effectiveness of our Tailwind on the board. And then from there, we can go for, like, a couple different moves. We don't really need the taunts. I like the Hurricane over the Bleak Winds just because it lets the fact that, like, we have a lot of AoE, like, we can just kind of weave this in. Icy Winds sometimes a good option here, too. That way you can protect with your teammate and just go for the Icy Winds. Trying to think of exactly what move. We want Rain Dance here. That way we can reapply everything here. So like I've recommended this Torn set before. The set that I go is 252, 188 plus, and then we go 64, 4. And the reason our set looks like this is because this set lets you eat Surging Strikes, Urshifu, you know, a Surging Strikes from a Water Terror, Urshifu in the rain. You can eat this with this Rocky Helmet set and do a ton of damage, and then reply back with a Hurricane and actually still get the win. So again, this is improving our matchup into Zenta as well. Very, very good into the Zenta here. As far as the Terra goes, you can go Ghost if you want. That way you can guarantee do your stuff. I like that. I don't hate it. But at the same time, like, I think that I like the Dark, so we actually can always just, like, play around Encores. It's also, like, decent into, like, Shadow Riders and stuff like that. So I like the Dark when it comes to this guy. And as for the Ursh, this is where I'd probably go Choice Scarf, right? So I like the Choice Scarf. We want to go for, you can go for 2 different types. You can go for the Double Dip Water, which is not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I think that Grass might be just a little bit better to be able to play around Redirection. And it lets you, again, have just a better matchup versus things like Iron Hands, Raging Bolt, Rillaboom, things like that. The set that I like to go for my Scarfs is Rock Slide. And so we go Rock Slide. You're going to go Close Combat. You can go Surging Strikes. And a lot of people would go Aqua Jet right here, but we have the Entity. I don't really like that. You can go U-Turn. It's okay. I will go the U-Turn. That way you could like lead Ursh, Arch, and then like U-Turn in your Kyogre, and then just start Electro-Shotting things. It's not bad. You can U-Turn in your Torn, make them take chip damage. U-Turn your Entity to gain like terrain control and stuff like that for the next turn, so I like that. As for this guy, I like to go Fairy Terra here. This way we can redirect a lot of valuable things that way. And then I like to go Goggles here. So this way we can redirect Spores, so we don't need all that electric terrain stuff that we had before. It just wasn't as optimal. I definitely like Trick Room here. I definitely like the Follow Me here. And then there's 2 things you can do. I'm going to put the Dazzling Gleam. And Helping Hand is really good. I think Helping Hand is what you want here. That way you can pair this with the Ursh, pair this with the Ogre, pair this with the Lucky, and just absolutely delete things if you need to. So really, really cool Entity set. You want to be speed reduced to 0 speed on this thing, so you can actually speed tie those Rillabooms and actually still get the outspeeds. The set that I like to go on these guys is usually a little bit more defensive than special defensive, just because like a lot of the special attackers in the format, you know, things like Calyrex Shadow, it doesn't really hit us anyways because we're normal type. Things like Terapagos, that hits us for neutral, we're fine, we don't need to overinvest in that. Things like Miraidon, but we have Fairy Tail to redirect to Draco, and if they want to go for an Electro Drift, well, we took away their terrain, so we're not going to die there either, right? So we can put a lot of our points in defense and just have this thing be able to Trick Room against Calyrex Ice, which is what I really like. Another possible Terra here is something like a Water, to be able to be like, hey, I'm just going to soak your Lance and flip the Trick Room back. But I like the Fairy Terra here, gives us 1 Fairy-Mon in case we need it. So I know the team looks a lot less fun. We got to put our Eevees and Ursh. Obviously, Eevees and Ursh look a little bit different. You can go 2v2. A lot of people like to go with the Adamant one because this is all you need to outspeed Calyrex Ice Rider with a Scarf. And then you just go 244. The team looks a lot less fun, but like it was not really possible to get wins with the team as you had it before. So I would do something like this. This still lets you keep the Arch and the Lecky, but now you actually can like set speed control without asking. You have redirection, you have terrain control, you have the ability to flip back Trick Rooms, you have a lot more fluidity while still keeping like aspects of the team alive. So let's go into some games and see how this does. We're going to go into this right here, and again, remember it's made for closed sheet, so we're just going to play closed sheet and see what we see here. Yeah, let's see. So our first game, going up against Miraidon. So Miraidon's a good restricted. It's a good matchup for most Miraidon's players. They're probably happy to see the Ogre. But again, like, I really like that we can just flip on our Ogre. And remember, we're close sheet. Like, we have the ground tier here. So, like, Kyogre's a great lead. I think that, like, Kyogre with the ability to pivot an Entity to block, like, Fake Outs is really good. So Kyogre Torn just says, like, hey, I'm doing this thing. You can't stop me. Pivot in the Entity. And then if we're thinking, like, what Mons we want to bring in the back, like, Arch is okay into Flutter. I think we're probably going to be better off just bringing our Ursh here. Just being able to be like, you're dead, you're dead. You're dead if I have control. Close combat, like close combat there, we're good. So we don't even need our Tailwind here, but I really do think that it lets us like trade Tailwinds with their Torn. So there's the Miraidon, there's the Ursh. So we can just go Tailwind, Terrastalize, pop things. And if we lose our Ogre on the first turn, I don't really think it's the end of the world. So yeah, let's pop it off. So we're going to go big Terra here and just pop a Spout and Tailwind. So we're going to be able to stick a ton of damage this turn, and it's going to let us just bring in the rest of our mons like our Ursh and just close up shop. And if you want to go for some sort of weird Terra here, like a Fairy Terra, you're going to get Mystic Water like absolutely bodied. If there's Surging Strikes in here, they're crazy. And if there's Surging Strikes in here, they're going to die, right? So if there's Surging Strikes in right here, they're going to die. Calm Mind, weird. Surging Strikes, yep, and you see the value of the Rocky Helmet. Taste the value of the Biscuit here. So again, you wouldn't Surging Strikes the Kyogre there. And so now, like, that's just game. Yeah, they have a Fake Out here. I think we're, like, still low-key fine. I'm going to Water Spout and pivot in my Entity. You're going to Fake Out right there. And so they can Draco us, but then they're going to lose their Instant for it this turn. Yep. There it is. And, like, are you Dracoing? Calm Mind again. Yeah, you're super gone. They're trying to steal a Calm Mind. I don't think that's a bad play. That's fine. And there's their Flutter. We still have the Tailwind up. And you just go Spout. And you actually want to Spout Helping Hand it, I think, just to make sure that you KO that Miraidon. There's the Fairy Terra. And 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. That's what we like to see, baby. So it's like, you can see how we had to struggle so much with the Pincurchin, the Pelipper's. Just set your Tailwind. Like, just get that priority Tailwind up. Lose them on. and then come on out and just win with Ogre. Like, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's go into another one. Let's go into another one. It's so easy, right? It's just so easy. Sometimes I just do be Ogre things. So we get another Miraidon. There's a Ditto there. Ditto could be a little bit weird. Note that they have potential Wide Guard on Swampert. Watch out for that. And Tailwind Talonflame for, you know, Tailwind Talonflame things. Let's think. What do we really want to do here? They have another Flutter too. I think that, like, Torn Ogre's not bad. I think it's fine. I think Inity and Ursh are still really good here. Lecky could be very good here, actually. But I think I'm going to go Ursh. Like, you have too many ground types. Too many ground types, actually, for me to use Lecky. Lecky's really cool, though, because it makes it so Torn doesn't have to come in matchups where they don't have dynamic speed control. Note, the first matchup we fought, they had dynamic speed control. Torn potential. This one, they have Talonflame. But if you didn't have that, like, let's say that Talonflame was, like, an Ensign, I would just bring Regieleki, because Regieleki outspeeds all of those Mons, and I could just Electro Web the things like the Flutter and the Miraidon that might be faster. This is a good lead for us. So we're just going to go Tailwind. We're just going to click the Spout, like, oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3. That's what we like to see, baby. Big Spout. Hope that's not like Sash Crook or like Grass Terra Crook. But like, that's fine. They have to be clicking Draco here to like really get the value. We could even like Protect here, Tailwind. Electric Terror, they're gonna get popped, bro. Helping Hand, they really think they're hot stuff. They could go into the Torn, but also Electro Drift makes contact. Look at that, double KO first turn. That's the power of rain boosted Mystic Water. The Mystic Water is the right item, and they take the scoop immediately, right? So this is one of those things where you're like, ugh, but now this team's so boring. It's like, if you don't do this and you're playing Kyogre, like, you're just gonna lose anyway. So like, I don't know. I maybe I'm not the world's biggest Pincurchin believer, but like using Pincurchin in restrictive format's just so hard. Like, I tried to keep the Arch and the Regieleki on the team, but it's just kind of hard to keep the Pincurchin. Let's see this one. Koraidon, that could be a bad matchup, right? Koraidon could be a bad matchup. Bolt's there. They have the potential. Another valued thing that we have here is that our Torn's slow. So like, if I want to lead Torn Ogre, if we Rain Dance under that, like, we underspeed them. So if they want to flip on, like, so for example, they lead Koraidon Torn and we lead Torn Ogre, they go Sunny Day, we go Rain Dance, and we still pop. That's actually a really, really good play. I think I'm going to bring those. I think I might bring a Lecky here. And since they don't have, like, I don't need Indeedee, so I could bring Arch here. It's not bad. I think I'm going to bring Ursh, though. Let's try this. Let's try and win this one out. There's the Groudon. There's the Venu. Cool. So, like, yeah, we're good. It's raining right now. I could Protect and just Hurricane. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Who do I want to hit? I'm going to hit the Venu. I don't want to show my Terra yet. And I want to see if they pivot out the Groudon for Bolt. That's what I'm looking to see Bolt come in here. Tornadus is fine. And then they're going to go for, like, what? U-turn? No. So there's some sort of weird choice set, I think. Value. So they're going to Sunny Day. I'm going to go Rain Dance and just Spout. I don't need to do anything weird. Spout's a good move. Taunt. That's fine. You're allowed to U-turn. Like, come in. You're just going to lose your Torn this turn. And then next turn, I'm just going to pivot around. And then I'm going to be able to come back in. Big damage. Oof. So they're going to be like, ha! I now have the sun. And it's like, okay. I could have also went Terra there if I wanted to. I didn't feel pressured enough to. I think I'm going to pivot in my Lecky and just Protect. And then we maybe pivot out the Kyogre for Torn, Protect a Lecky. Unless they double into that slot. Whoa, Sleep Powder, crazy. Scale Shot, whoa, crazy, bro. He's going nuts. He's some sort of weird choice set, I think. You can put to sleep this Torn. Because we just want to bring an Ogre for safe. Sleep Powder misses, we take those all the way to the bank. Void Blitz, block a Rooney. He's not choiced. See, AV? Looks like maybe AV then. Awesome. So now we can just Rain Dance, and we could Rain Dance Thunder. I vibe with that. We outspeed these guys. Rain Dance is kind of busted. Rain Dance Thunder. Look at that big damage. Any pairs? There's the pair 30% of the time, every time. Void Blitz, Rocky Helmet, busted. Where you dropping here? Sleep Powder who? Oh, and then miss again. We take those wins, bro. That's probably just gonna be it. We have one Mon in the back that I don't really know what it is, but like, that's a scoop it up. Yeah, we were in a Thunder and that sucks their pin. So hopefully you guys like this little changes. I tried my absolute best with this one. It was so frustrating, and I want to say I apologize, but like, when you get given the paste, right, and you're looking at this and you read how the team's supposed to go, and then the paste is like every one of the Mons is not what the paste said. It's not like possible to win the test games. And the whole point of the test games isn't to win, but at the same time, like, I can't get a good understanding of, like, what you're supposed to be doing with the team when, like, this says one thing and the paste says something completely different from the rental. So I tried my best to get a good understanding. It didn't work. And so I gave you a team that I think facilitates, like, Regieleki Arch Ogre just a little bit better. It's unfortunate that you can't keep the Pincurchin with, like, the super Omega electric terrain things. But that's the nature of a restricted format. Maybe if Kyogre got Electro Shot or Regieleki did, you could. But, like, you're asking for too much permission to do those things. You're not respecting your opponent's fake outs, redirections, their restricteds, their speed control. This isn't a single player game, right? If this was actually, like I said, the initial rental code that was submitted, heck, that might actually work in, like, Battle Stadium singles. Because, like, you know, it's all, like, aggression. There's no protects. It doesn't, like, I'm gonna show it one more time. Like, this rental code right here might, like, low-key work in Battle Stadium singles. Because, like, you're U-turning with your Pelipper, setting your weather, like, Kyogre's all in, Arch is all in, Leki's all in, and you have, like, Recover on 2 of your mounts instead of Protects. Like, there are options there. I think if you did want to keep the Pincurchin, I will say, you might have had to use, like, an eject button set to where, like, you protect one of your teammates, pivot into your Pincurchin, get the terrain up, and then re-pivot back out into your Pelipper to, like, set weather, right? So if Kyogre had Protect, you could lead something like Pelipper, Kyogre, and then they lead some, like, anti-weather, like their own weather, right? Like a Groudon or something. And then they get the sun up, and you pivot in the Pincurchin, get the terrain, lose the Pincurchin or eject button out to re-bring out the Pelipper. Like, that could be an option if you want to do something like that. But I think you're just better off going with, like, the changes that we made over here. You saw we won every single game, like, super easy peasy lemon squeezy. We beat 2 Miraidons and a Groudon. Those are all bad matchups for Kyogre, in my opinion. So, you know, hopefully you like the changes. And I'm sorry I couldn't keep a lot of what you initially wanted me to keep with the Pincurchin, but again, hopefully you like it. And if you guys have any teams you want to submit for yourself, think about checking out the Patreon. Like I said, by the time this video goes up, there's going to be a brand new team submission post. So we're doing everything we can. All my rentals, we're doing Patreon tournaments, the Patreon team submission post. I'm posting all of my USPA replays with, like, match breakdowns as well. Bunch of cool stuff coming to Patreon this month. I'd really appreciate if you thought about checking out. Even the lowest tier gets access to basically all the content on there, as well as support over Discord. So think about checking that out. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.